Hey folks, welcome back. In today's video, I've got my daughter Allison with me, and that is because we are going to talk about our head and neck restraint. Probably the biggest reason that I have Allison here in this video with me is because she is in the truck with me as well, and we both have the same safety equipment when we're strapped in. So we're going to start off by talking about what we started with in all of these head and neck restraint units. Kind of go over why we decided to make changes and what we finally decided to go with and what we're running currently. So to start, what we actually started with is these NecksGen units, NecksGen. And this right here is a NecksGen Rev, and I've actually owned this unit for probably about 10 years now, right around there. I actually started using this unit in the buggy with my helmet. And the reason that I chose to run this particular head and neck restraint is because I liked the way that the straps would allow you to actually turn your head in the vehicle. So the buckles that normally are on these straps allow a certain amount of movement side to side, so you can actually turn your head. And when you're in the buggy, you know, rock crawling or in a competitive environment where you have to be able to look down at the rear tires or maybe look around a bit, this particular head and neck restraint worked really, really well. I was really happy with it. And once we knew that both of us were going to be in this truck, I ended up buying a second NecksGen. This one here is a NecksGen Rev 2. And it's pretty much the same thing with the exception of the strap here that goes to your helmet has a screw on each side of the collar, and you can adjust the length on this strap. On this unit here, you have to get different length straps to shorten that up. So this is what we started with, and immediately we both felt that this allowed our head to move too much. And in an attempt to try and make some of that better, it almost felt like this unit was kind of sliding underneath of our shoulder harnesses to start with. In an effort to try and make that better, I ended up getting this, I believe they refer to it as a rally pad. So this actual collar piece of the unit here just velcros to this rally pad, and then it's got a chest buckle, a couple straps that go underneath your armpits here. Kind of ties this unit into your body a little bit better. The padding was really nice where it pulls down on your shoulders. It kind of relieved that, but it really didn't help that movement that we were having in there. Now, when I got this second unit, I went ahead and got the buckles and all of the points that attach to the helmet installed on my helmet here. It's just my trusty old helmet that's worked good for me forever. And Allison actually ended up with my old carbon fiber helmet. It didn't really fit her head that great. It was a little loose, so she would put a beanie on, then that helmet on with this first version of this NecksGen here. So at the first show, is when we really noticed that our heads were still moving forward, and you know, we'd come off of a jump, kind of nose in, and both of our heads, you can watch on the GoPros from that show, would move quite a bit, like a couple of inches, and you don't want them to move that much. Actually, Shane Plato came up to us at that Santa Rosa show, the very first one, very nicely. You know, he come up and he said, "Hey, I don't mean to get into anybody's business." He said, but in the staging area, he's back in basically the staging or the pit area. And he said that he could see us out on the course and our head was moving. He could see us moving inside the truck. So he was just kindly letting us know that we shouldn't do that. Our heads should not be moving at all. And he suggested maybe putting a twist in the straps to shorten them up just to get us by for the show and see if that helped. And I tried doing it at that show. I didn't really notice. I mean, granted, the straps were tighter, and you ended up twisting your straps too, right?
Yes.
But what did you notice when you twisted the straps? You were telling me the helmet was pushing on the top of your head?
Yeah, I could feel pressure in my head and neck because it was being pushed down.
Pushed downward. So the problem that we figure with this particular setup is both of us kind of have a little bit longer neck. So you have this thing sitting on your shoulder here, and these straps are actually going up and forward at an angle. So as you have the straps coming from back here, coming up and forward, even if you have them tighter and tighter and tighter and you're pulling them back like this, you can still, your neck can go forward and down. And it's really not a very comfortable feeling when your neck is moving that way. So once we got done with the Santa Rosa and the Washington show, we decided to put, quite a bit of effort into making some changes here. So the first initial change that we made, there was a couple of things. I got this Hans 4, and by looking at it, you would think that this unit is taller, and the straps are up higher, maybe by a couple inches. So I bought this one, and I was going to try it myself and see how it worked out. And immediately when I put it on, this particular Hans with this helmet right here, they did not work very good at all. This piece right here was actually trying to go up in the back of my helmet, up inside of it, where I want this piece to be, farther up on my helmet, on the back of my head. So I was pretty disappointed that that didn't work out very good. However, one of the other things that we did was we ended up getting a helmet for Allison that actually fit her head. So we ended up getting this is a youth medium, right?
Yeah.
And it fits her very good. And it was already set up with the M6 threaded bosses for head and neck restraints. So that was a pretty slick deal. This actually made a huge difference for her, actually having a helmet that fits properly. That's really important. So we got that, and in conjunction with this here, this Hans 4 actually works good with this helmet on her, because her neck is obviously a little bit shorter than mine. She'd look like a giraffe if her neck was as long as mine was. But either way, this unit here and this helmet, that combination worked out really good. This is actually a Zamp brand helmet, and one of the reasons that we ended up getting this helmet was because I bought a Zamp brand head and neck restraint to try out myself. This one here, as you can see, appearance-wise, it too is quite a bit taller and way taller than the NecksGen unit. Even more so, more so than the NecksGen, but still taller than the Hans 4 itself. So this is when we went to Salem, was with this new setup. So Allison had the Hans 4. I had this Zamp unit. This unit here actually worked good for me. It worked well. This little hoop here, this narrow section actually sat above my helmet, and where these straps pass through here, I actually don't have the straps in here, and I'll get to that later. But where the straps pass through this Zamp head and neck restraint is higher up and actually come more straight forward to my helmet. So in the Salem show, this is what I was wearing. Allison was with the Hans 4, and we were pretty happy with that. It worked really good. We didn't notice near the movement inside the truck with that setup. Well, I was pretty happy to have these two combinations for both of us. It looked like it was going to work out well. Then I happened across a marketplace deal where I got this older Hans unit. And before I get into this, I do want to mention that I ended up calling Simpson, which Simpson is the parent company to Hans themselves. And I asked him about this fitment with this thing trying to go up inside my helmet, and kind of went over a few things. And I asked them to actually pull out some of their other models and do some measuring for me, because I was, particularly looking for the tallest Hans unit that they had available. And they came back and they let me know which one was the tallest unit. It was obviously their most expensive unit. I think it's about $1,400 for their, it's like a carbon fiber Pro Light or something, which I'm not above paying that much money for something that's going to save my head and neck, except for I don't want to pay that much money to have it shipped here and then find out that it's been redesigned and doesn't work as how I would want. So I called them and talked to them, and sure enough, they did have one that is taller than this. But before committing to buying one, I knew that the Zamp would work for me for now, and that was when I happened across this older Hans unit. This thing actually has an SFI sticker from January of 2007, but visually this thing is like brand new. It's very well taken care of. It's not been beat up, and you can see how tall that unit is. So even for me with my big old long rubber neck, this thing works perfect with my helmet. So that's what we're running with. Both Allison and I are running Hans. Hers is the Hans 3. Mine is, I think mine is so old that it was before they had more than one model. So this is what I'm running now. Back to with the straps and buckles. If you notice on the NecksGen stuff, I don't have any of the buckles on here. And this Zamp, I've stolen the strap. And that's because we've kind of put our own combination together here to work how we want it to work. Now, in my opinion, by far the best buckle system is the NecksGen system on the helmet. They have a really nice buckle that bolts to your helmet here, and then these things just latch in. Your straps latch in there just like a seatbelt. So they click in, and then you can pull this tether and they will come unbuckled with you know, a little bit of fight. Not too much trouble. When it's on and you're doing it right, it comes undone pretty good. So what I've done is I've stolen the NecksGen buckles and the latches, all of this stuff, the actual attachment stuff to the helmet. I've stolen all of that off of both of these NecksGens and used them for both of our helmets. So we have the good buckles and quick release on our Hans. And the way we got those on there is we used the Zamp straps. So Zamp was the only place that I could find really true adjustable straps that were just one strap about that long and then two adjustable buckles. So they just loop in around themselves. You can shorten them and lengthen them, you know, much like a dog collar or a purse strap or something. So once I seen that that's, you know, that was the combination that we wanted to use, I stole the Zamp strap out of here with the buckles, and I actually ended up ordering a second one from Zamp. And that is what we have on these two Hans units, are the Zamp straps with the NecksGen buckles. Now, as far as this other stuff that we have sitting on the bench, my plan is to buy more NecksGen parts to get these put back together. We'll probably throw them in the trailer for in case somebody, you know, is in dire need of a head and neck restraint. Or we'll pedal them, send them down the road, something. I do really like these. If you're in probably like the rally world or some kind of car racing where you need a head and neck restraint, I'm not above recommending the NecksGen at all. It's a really nice piece. I really like these head and neck restraints. They're just not suited for monster truck use, in my opinion. The Zamp, nothing wrong with the Zamp. I was pretty happy with that. Like I said, I really like the adjustability of their straps. This unit's a little bit heavy, but outside of that, it worked well. It worked really good. If I didn't get super lucky on this deal, I would still be using this one. So this deal here where I said to get one from Hans or Simpson, this particular unit, which I'm not even sure is the same because this one is so much older. It's, like I said, about $1,400, I think, between $1,200 and $1,400. I picked this one up on Marketplace for 250 bucks. So got a smoking deal on that one. Anyway, these parts here are going to either end up in the trailer for use with somebody else or get sold down the road. And this is now what we're using. So now we'll probably set up the camera. We'll both get in and just buckle in just like we're getting in the truck and get ready for a show so you can kind of see how that procedure goes. Now, another thing that I noticed right away was the visibility wasn't as good as I would like. I had excess room, helmet to cage clearance here. And I mean, that's plenty safe, but it was more clearance than I needed. And as a result, the seat was sitting down lower and it made it hard to see over the hood when the front suspension stretches out when you're on the throttle. So to get a little bit of that back, I took these 2-inch billet aluminum spacers that were in here. I took those out and I built these new aluminum risers and replaced those spacers with these risers here and gave me 2 inches more lift in the seat. I had to work on this, see if I can get in here where you guys can see it. This tube here actually goes from the cage to the back of the seat. It bolts to the back of the seat. So I had to move that mounting point down 2 inches so that the seat could actually go up in the chassis itself 2 extra inches. I still have tons of room up there between my helmet and the cage, and 2 inches makes a huge difference in visibility. I was really happy with that. I've actually been running that for a couple of shows now, but Allison was getting a little jealous. She was asking if I could move her seat up because her seat was basically almost on the floor and she was just about looking just directly into this upper dash bar here. So we'll go over there and take a look at what I did on her side. Over here on the passenger side of the truck, moving the seat up was pretty simple. Same as the driver's side. I had to re-drill for that mounting tube there, move the mounting holes down 2 inches. And then I simply brought my 2-inch billet aluminum blocks from the driver's side of the truck over here to the passenger side, bolted them underneath the seat mounts here, and that essentially moved the seat up 2 inches. We've also added this halo, this helmet containment portion to the seat, but we still have to add about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of foam on each one of these. Allison's helmet is quite a bit smaller than mine, or a normal, full-size helmet, so it's a little bit loose in there. Add that bit of foam and she'll be good to go. Initial testing, she's already super happy with the increased visibility, and I think she's really looking forward to being able to see a bit more when we're out there running this thing around. You set this up by the tack.
By the what?
Tack.
Tack.
Tachometer. Right there. Yep, perfect. There's that. Got your straps
Yeah.
all located?
Already.
All right. Okay. And we'll go ahead and buckle in, huh?
Yes.
Oh, guess who didn't reset their straps?
You.
that's too tight.
Dying?
Yeah, that's all right. It'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pull it now. There we go. That's much better. Good.
Good.
Almost can't reach the RII.
I'll use my toe.
Yep. We're ready for a rip.
Yep.
Yeah, success.
Fire, fire, fire. Okay. False alarm.
False alarm.
False alarm.
Nope.
Good practice.
Good practice.
Put your belts, reset your belts.
Already did.
Well, as you can see, it was mostly just a little bit of trial and error, but eventually we found something that we both liked, and I think we'll be really happy with that. Hopefully this little bit of information here might help somebody out in choosing the proper product that's going to work for them. As always, thanks for watching.
And have a good one.